My name's Emily Carter. I'm 27, living in a small apartment just outside Portland. I work in a design office, drink too much coffee, and keep plants alive mostly out of stubbornness. I'm not married, not even close. I tell people I like my freedom, but honestly, I'm still learning what freedom even means. I have one brother, Ryan, 2 years younger. He's the golden child. Loud, funny, the type who never walks into a room quietly. And then there's Mom, who loves posting every picture of Ryan online. And Dad, who mostly lives behind a newspaper or the TV. They're not bad people, just the kind that don't notice what they break. It was one of those January mornings where the air feels like glass and the sunlight looks clean enough to drink. I wrapped my hands around a mug of coffee and stood by the window. The steam brushed my face. The city was waking up below. And I thought, maybe this year will be different. January 12th. My birthday, 27. New job, rent paid on time, my own little slice of quiet. For the first time, I actually liked who I was becoming. The coffee was bitter but warm, and I took slow sips, staring at the frost melting off the fire escape rails. Somewhere a dog barked. Someone slammed a car door. Ordinary sounds, but they felt peaceful. I scrolled through my phone. A couple of messages, coworkers, a few friends, a meme from my college roommate. Nothing from Mom, nothing from Dad, not even a lazy, happy B-Day M. From Ryan, I told myself it didn't matter. But it always did. Because birthdays for most people are about being seen. For me, they've always been proof that I wasn't. When I was a kid, birthdays meant chaos, just not mine. Ryan's parties were the stuff of suburban legend. Balloons everywhere, a magician who made my uncle's watch disappear, 30 kids tearing up the backyard. Dad grilled. Mom filmed. Everyone laughed. Mine? A cake from the grocery store with slightly smudged icing. Maybe a candle, maybe not. Once, for my 8th birthday, Mom reused one of Ryan's leftover candles from his cupcake set. Half melted, leaning sideways. I remember staring at it, thinking, maybe next year they'll remember I exist. Dad barely looked up from the TV. Mom hummed while wiping counters. Ryan ran in wearing his new soccer cleats, showing everyone how fast he could run. The whole family clapped. I cut my own cake. Told myself to smile. Because crying over being invisible only makes you look dramatic. Growing up didn't change much. Ryan's B- report cards were promising. My straight A's were expected. When I won a local writing contest, Mom said, "That's nice, sweetheart, but focus on real work. Writing's just a hobby." Then she called Ryan into the kitchen to show him his brand new phone. I don't think she even saw me walk out that night. Still, I kept hoping. Every January, I whispered, "This year will be mine." When I turned 24, I'd already moved out. Tiny apartment, thin walls, peace. But birthdays still hurt in quiet ways. 1 week before my birthday that year, Mom called. Her voice was soft, almost too soft. Come home Saturday. We'll celebrate properly this year. We have something for you, properly." She said properly. I laughed, nervous. "Really?" "Of course," she said. "You've been working so hard. It's time we did something nice." And I believed her. God help me, I did. I pictured a cake with my name, candles glowing, Dad maybe smiling for once. Maybe a gift they'd thought about. Not something practical, something for me. I bought a new shirt that week. Told my friends I was busy Saturday. Family birthday plans. Those words felt heavy in my mouth. Saturday came cold and bright. The highway shimmered with frost as I drove home, heater humming, stomach tight with hope. When I walked in, I saw balloons. A cake on the dining room table. Relatives everywhere. For a second, I actually froze. Mom's face lit up. "There's my girl." Her hug smelled like detergent and lilies. Dad gave a short nod from the couch. Ryan stood by the wall, texting, grinning. "Wow," I said quietly. "You guys did all this for me?" "Of course," Mom said. "Sit down, sweetheart." They lit the candles. Everyone sang. My cheeks hurt from smiling. I closed my eyes and made the same wish I'd made since childhood. Just let me matter, even for a day. Then Dad handed me a small wrapped box. "Tag, Emily, open it," he said. Inside was a car key fob. My throat caught, a car. Something big. Something thoughtful. I looked up, already forming thank you, but Mom laughed. "Oh, honey," she said. "That's really for Ryan. You don't need it. You're doing fine." The room laughed with her. I took a deep breath. I'm not ruining anything. I just finally see things the way they are. Don't talk like that, Dad said sharply. You sound ungrateful. We raised you. We gave you everything. My hands shook. I could hear my own heartbeat. You gave Ryan everything, I said. You gave me responsibility and silence. There was a pause on the other end, the kind that fills a room even over the phone. Mom said softly, "You're tired. Go rest. You'll feel better after some sleep." And that's when I realized it. They weren't going to understand. They didn't want to. Mom, I said quietly, I'm not coming over anymore. What? You've made it clear where I stand. I don't need to keep proving I deserve to be seen. Dad's tone turned sharp again. Don't be dramatic. Family is family. Then maybe you should start treating me like it, I said, and hung up. The silence after that click felt like thunder. I sat on the kitchen floor, phone still in my hand, heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Then I laughed, this dry, broken sound I didn't recognize as mine. Because somehow, cutting that cord felt like both dying and breathing for the first time. The next few days passed in a blur. Work, sleep, coffee, repeat. I told no one what happened. When coworkers asked how my birthday went, I smiled and said, it was quiet. At night, I kept checking my phone. No calls, no texts, just silence. Part of me hoped for an apology. Another part hoped they'd just forget me entirely so I could start over clean. A week later, I saw it. Ryan's post on Facebook. A photo of him leaning against my car, sunglasses on, big smile. Caption, best parents in the world. Love you guys! Hundreds of likes. Heart emojis from relatives. Comments saying, you deserve it, champ. And proud of you. I stared at the screen until my eyes blurred. Then I turned off my phone and threw it on the couch. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying every little moment of my childhood, every birthday, every, we're so proud of Ryan, every time I swallowed the lump in my throat and smiled anyway. And I wondered how many times I'd chosen peace over self-respect. The next morning, I made a decision. No more waiting for closure. No more begging to be noticed. No more shrinking so someone else could shine. I opened my notebook, the one I hadn't written in since college, and wrote 3 words across the first blank page. Choose yourself first. It didn't fix everything. But it felt like lighting a match in a dark room. Days turned into weeks. I started jogging before work, bought flowers for my own kitchen, tried new recipes. Little things that said, I exist. I even took myself out to dinner on a Friday night. The waiter asked, celebrating something? I smiled. Yeah, I think I am. There was still pain, of course. You don't just erase years of neglect with one act of self-love. But every time I thought about calling them, I remembered that porch light, that laugh, that box ripped from my hands. And I reminded myself, some people will never see your worth until you stop standing where they left you. It had been months since that birthday. The world kept spinning, but quieter now. I worked, cooked, slept, repeated. Sometimes I'd pass a car like mine on the street and feel that same twist in my stomach, but it faded faster each time. I learned to fill silence with my own voice. Mornings started with music instead of waiting for someone to call. Evenings ended with candles and a cup of tea. No noise. No pretending. One night in April, my phone rang. The caller ID made my heart skip. Mom. For a second, I thought, maybe they wanted to make things right. Maybe time had done what words couldn't, I answered. Hello? Her voice was shaky. Emily. Ryan's been in an accident. My breath caught. What? Is he? He's okay, she rushed to say. But the car's totaled. He's fine, thank God, but the insurance won't cover everything. We thought maybe you could help. You've always been responsible. You always save. I went silent. It was like the universe had written the most twisted kind of irony. They gave him my gift. And now, when it broke, they came back to the one person who'd learned to fix things her whole life. I almost laughed. Not out of cruelty, just disbelief. Mom, I said slowly, you remember whose car that was supposed to be, right? Silence. I'm sorry, she whispered. We just thought... You thought I'd keep fixing things for you, I said. My voice was calm, steadier than I felt. But I can't do that anymore. Emily, please. Your brother needs help. I closed my eyes. The image flashed. Ryan grinning with the keys in his hand, the whole room clapping, Mom saying, "You don't need much anyway, Em." "I think you'll figure it out," I said softly. "You always do," and I hung up. For the first time in years, I didn't feel guilty. I felt light. I sat back on the couch, exhaled, and looked around my little apartment. The plants on the windowsill, the stack of books I'd bought for myself, the faint smell of lavender from a candle burning low. Everything here was mine.